With the temperature getting cooler now, it seems like the perfect time for some cinnamon sugar cookies. We're gonna first add some white granulated sugar to a small bowl. This small bowl is gonna have the mixture that we will use to roll the cookie dough balls inside later. Next to this small bowl, we're gonna add some cinnamon and mix it all together. Then we'll set this bowl aside for later. Next, add your all-purpose flour to a bowl. Then go ahead and add the baking soda, baking powder, and then salt. Go ahead and quickly mix everything together and then set this bowl aside for later. These will be the dry ingredients. To the bowl of your stand mixer, go ahead and add your softened butter. The description box below will have a link for the full recipe, which will detail exactly how much of everything I use. Next, I add brown sugar, and that's sugar that I have packed tightly into the cup. Then I go ahead and add some white granulated sugar. Then I go ahead and attach the paddle attachment. I think the official name is the flat beater attachment. Basically, I put it on the stand mixer and turn it on. I usually start at the very low speed and then gradually increase it, but I still don't ever go much higher than 4. I tend to keep it at this level when I'm making cookies. I usually let it run for a few minutes while I cream together the butter and sugars. You'll start to notice after a time that the texture has changed and it looks much creamier. At this point, I go ahead and stop the mixer and I go ahead and scrape off the paddle attachment and then also scrape off the sides. If you look closely, you can see that a certain part has creamed sugar while some of it that hasn't been mixed well still looks more granulated. The creamy texture is really what you want to try and achieve. After I've scraped everything down, I prepare to turn my mixer on again to add the rest of the ingredients. So with the mixer running, I then go ahead and add the egg. I usually like to have this be a room temperature egg. Then I add the vanilla extract. And last, I go ahead and add the dry ingredients. Now, I spoon it very slowly because I don't want it to splash and, spray flour everywhere. I let it run for a few more minutes just to make sure that everything mixes together perfectly, and then I turn it off and again scrape down the paddle attachment and also scrape down the sides of the bowl as well. Cookies are really great because it's such an easy thing to make. It's definitely one of the quickest and easiest things you can make. So lastly, I'll go ahead and prepare to scoop out the cookies. I actually used a cookie scoop this time. It's pretty easy, just scoop it out like ice cream, but you obviously can also use your hands or a spoon. I use the very smallest cookie size I have and roll a small little ball and then go ahead and roll it in that cinnamon and sugar mixture. Then I'll go ahead and take the ball and plop it down on a piece of parchment paper that's sitting on top of a pan. I do this process over and over again. Now these cookies you can actually bake fresh from the oven, but sometimes they spread just a bit. So I usually go ahead and roll all these balls out and then freeze them. You really just need to freeze them for about 30 minutes or so, and then you can go ahead and store them for later or choose to bake them outright. Once I'm done rolling all of the cookies, I put them into the freezer just like this. Then after 30 minutes, I take it out and basically notice that it's fully frozen. You can see that they're pretty hard. So then I throw them all into a freezer bag and I actually go ahead and store these for later. Sometimes I'll bake them fresh, or other times I store them, in the freezer in case I ever just want to quickly have some cookies to eat. They keep well and they're super easy. That's why I love them. When I do bake them, I put them into an oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 minutes. And then they're done. In no time, you have soft, chewy, delicious cookies. The cinnamon smell will fill your house and everyone will thank you.